Hey, Slanch, I do buckaroos. I didn't get around to doing any Halloween videos this season, or yet. They're coming out a little bit later than typical, so I thought I'd try to get a couple in here before it's all over with. And I've got a version of a drink I came up with that I call Dead on Arrival, and it's exactly the same drink both times except for the main ingredient. I did use gin for both, but I used two different gins. I wasn't sure which one would get me with the ingredients I have on hand. Let me say that. I wanted to see which one would get me closer to, say, a blood color. So I want you to take a look at that one. So with this particular gin or cocktail, I used the Muff Liqueur Irish Gin. It's an 80 proof gin crafted with Irish potatoes. Now this particular gin of course does have those, juniper notes, as they all do, but this one really balances a lot of citrus and spice and other herbs very well. So the other ingredients in this cocktail, though, are... And here's the thing. I went a little crazy on this one because I'm kind of known as the 3-ingredient cocktail guy, but trying to achieve a specific thing, I used a few more. So anyway, the gin is the main cocktail, so it's 1 ounce of gin and a ½ ounce of everything else I'm going to show you. I used the Iechyd Candied Orange Liqueur. That adds more citrus and a little sweetness. I also used the Dolin Blanc vermouth, giving you those nice dry herbal notes, and again, just a touch of sweetness. Oh, if I can reach down here, I left it down here too low. I also used the Rocktown Ginger Liqueur. This is my absolute favorite ginger liqueur. It is better than that name that you're going to spend a lot for at the store. I'm telling you, it just is. Ah, shit. And again, to achieve that red I've got going on, I used the Luxardo Cherry Liqueur. So I've got the, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ingredients, which is a lot more than I typically use. But keeping in mind also that everything I'm using here, well, it's all alcohol. There's no simples. There's no anything else. So I haven't tasted it yet, but I do like the color. That color is nice, right? Oh, gosh, that is really nice. But I also, I also added a 6th ingredient, actually. I dripped just a little bit of that dark cherry juice in there, just to enrich the color there. But I do like the way that one came out. You shoot, sorry about that. You do feel those botanical gin notes. Let me try that again. You do feel those botanical gin notes, but again, this one's offering a lot. A little bit of spice from that ginger. Again, more herbal from that from the Dolin Blanc. Sweetness and citrus from that candied orange. And again, that Luxardo cherry liqueur adding to that deep, rich color. But also, again, that a cherry. So I've got flavors of cherry, orange, ginger going on, plus that gin. But what I like about adding that ginger to this is it adds a little spice to that sweetness going on. So it keeps it from getting too sweet. The Luxardo cherry and the candied orange provide a lot of sweetness. So I'm counting on that, on the gin and that ginger to add more herbal notes and spice notes. And honestly, I really like it. I think it's a drink that would sell. And honestly, there is a lot more going on than I typically do, in all honesty. Because I am the 3-ingredient cocktail guy, but this one adds a little more. But what I wanted to get to exactly 3 ounces here. I might think of other ways to garnish it. I just dropped a dark cherry in there. If you want to do something fancier, you can. Like I said, I just kind of came up with this one on the fly, because I haven't got any Halloween cocktail videos out yet, so I wanted to get at least one in. So I'm going to do this one here using the 2 versions of the Dead on Arrival with gin. Then I'll do a couple more whiskey forward cocktails, getting back closer to my roots here. But that is very nice. That is really nice, man. I like that a lot. A nice themed cocktail if you were having a themed party. A lot of folks advise just batching one particular cocktail. That way you're not running a full bar. This would be a nice holiday themed or Halloween themed cocktail. Because even though it does have a few ingredients to it, 5, it's not hard to put together though. I mean, it's 1 ounce of the main ingredient, 1/2 ounce of everything else. So you could really batch it easily. If you had, I mean, I wouldn't advise it for a large party, but you know, if you had a gathering of say, 5 to 10, that way you're just making one cocktail for everybody. You can chill the coupes, have them ready to go, have the cherry in there ready, or your garnish ready, whatever you were doing, and just when it comes time, just pour the cocktail. It'd be a very easy one to batch. I love crafting cocktails. I really do. It has become my passion. Gosh, that's good. Oh man, that is very nice. So anyways, I digress. Let me finish up this one and I will come back with cocktail number 2. Well, actually, cocktail 1.5. Just a slightly different version. Like I said, the only thing I changed, everything else, the proportions and everything, I just changed the gin. So I'm curious how that affects the color and the flavor. Anyways, I'll be right back. All right, Dead on Arrival, part 2. Like I said, all the ingredients are the same except for the main one. So let me show that to you. So for this one, I didn't know if it would get me a richer color. Maybe slightly, actually. It's hard to tell. Like I said, I'm partially colorblind. It kind of gives me a deeper red. But here's what I used for this one. Like I said, I just changed out the gin. So this one I used the Victoria Indigo gin, which gets the color from pea flower extract. Let me show that to you. But other than that, everything else is the same. The proportions, everything else is identical. And when I was looking at them side by side there, like I said, I'm partially colorblind, so it looked about equal. But now that I see it in the screen there, this seems to be a deeper red. Oh, wow. Wow. I didn't expect the flavor to change that much, if you want to know the truth. So here's what I'm going to say. I really can't tell which one I like better if you want to know the truth. But here's what I'm going to say is if you like a slightly sweeter drink, I feel like the first one took on that sweetness a little more. And I'm not sure if maybe, like I said, I tried to get the proportions about accurate, but I might not have put as much of the cherry juice in this one because it doesn't feel as sweet. But again, it may be how it's reacting to this particular gin. So I will say for me, knowing I'm not a fan of a sweet drink, I really love this one. But if you like it a little sweeter with more pronounced cherry notes, the other one does that. Boy, I really like that though. Like that color though. Like I said, I'm partially colorblind, so it's really difficult for me to tell if that goes too far to purple or if it's just a deeper red. For me, it looks more of a deeper red, but you're going to have to tell me. I don't differentiate shades real well. Gosh, that is really nice, though. And I'm a whiskey guy. I'm not. It's taken me a long time to become kind of a gin guy because I've been trying to look at different cocktails, taking them in different directions. But damn, Skippy, I really, really love this one. So again, I'm calling this one dead on arrival. And I've got a couple coming. I will do a little bit later. More whiskey for one old fashioned. I'm not sure if I'm going to do one or two old fashioned style, and one or two Manhattan style, or just do one old fashioned one. Well, we'll see. We'll see how those ideas creep up in there. When I say old-fashioned style, what I really mean is with ice in the glass, with a big cube in the glass. But in all honesty, those of you that know me know I prefer a straight-up cocktail served in a coupe. Oh. Gosh, that's delicious, man. I'm really surprised. Like I said, it's taken me a long time to become a gin guy, but this is a drink. If I was somewhere else, then this wasn't my cocktail. This flavor profile is definitely something I would order. Gosh, that is delicious. I bought that Luxardo cherry liqueur a while back for a different cocktail, and under their period of time, I didn't use it at all. But now, as I'm coming into fall and winter, I see myself using it more. It's not. It wasn't a flavor profile I was looking for spring and summer. I wanted a lighter, looking more. If I'm adding anything to it, it's going to be more on a lemon or lime note. A lighter citrus or even orange. But now I'm thinking the stone fruit, the cherry, it kind of works. Anyways, wow, that is delicious. I see a lot of folks buying the Victoria or the Empress gin is probably the more well known, and maybe even it's a little bit higher proof. But I've also seen a lot of places use their regular gin, whatever they're using for their cocktails, and then use the pea flower extract or make a pea flower tea with that color, then add it to the gin. I think both are acceptable. It kind of makes sense to just add the extra ingredient rather than spending more money for the gin, but it kind of depends on what you're looking for, right? That Empress gin is rather impressive. And the reason I bought the Victoria was, again, it was a slightly less proof, which wasn't the selling point for me, but it was a little bit, it did cost a little bit less. And that's what I had available at the time. So, and I think the flavor is pretty close. It's not an inferior gin by any means. But yeah, like I said, when I was looking at them, I wasn't really telling the color difference, but as I look at it in the camera, it does seem a little bit deeper red. So I do think both work for getting a blood red. So these are my two versions of Dead on Arrival. I appreciate you tuning in. We're finally getting some Halloween videos out. Hopefully I can get them edited and put out before Halloween is gone. Because as I do this video, I'm less than a week away, so I'm close, man. Part of it was I was fighting an illness for a while. I didn't drink for about 8 days. And then when I could drink, I just wasn't feeling like it. So it's taken me a while to really even feel like having a drink. So that's why it's taken me so long to get to this point. But anyways, I really wanted to do this cocktail. I had this idea and I needed to know if it was going to work or not. So anyway, one last time, Dead on Arrival. I am Tom. Well, I guess I can't say whiskey because it's not whiskey. So we're just going to skip to the end and say all around good guy and sláinte.